Thanks for tuning in. I want to talk with you a little bit about food disorders, binge eating, emotional eating. And I want to give you a little bit of a background on that because most people don't really understand what it is and where it comes from. So, humans, we've been on this planet for quite some time. We didn't have it as good then, a couple of thousand years ago, as we have it now. I mean, we have supermarkets everywhere, there's food everywhere, no matter how you toss it and turn it. Even if you don't have enough money, you can apply for food stamps, and you can get food anywhere, churches, whatever. So that's something to remember, that we are not dying of hunger. That was the number one cause a couple of years ago, like 500 years ago. The one reason that we died was of hunger. We simply did not have enough food. That's quite different now. But let me go back. Way back, we were hunter-gatherers and we were living in not too large tribes, small tribes, so everybody knew each other and we all had our tasks to gather food, to grow food, to go hunting, fishing, whatever. And honey was a rarity, was something really special. And sometimes we found honey. And usually every tribe had at least one person who was an expert in finding honey, because the bees are not stupid. They're just not hanging it out in front of the cave so that you can just pick it. They just hide it. So these experts knew exactly what to look for, to feel the flowers, the bees, where were they going, blah, 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 blah. So they found honey. We were eating the honey. We would take the honey home, we would eat it. And what does that honey do? Because usually that's in the summer that there's the honey. What does the honey do? What does the sugar do? It lays fat in the body, because in the winter we have not enough food. Then, not now, then we didn't have enough food, so we build up a layer of fat so we could survive the winter. Knowing where the honey was, we would go back until we depleted that source of honey and everybody had their fill. And so this is way back, and it hardwired us for that craving for sugar in order to survive. We still have that today. Show me somebody who does not crave some form of sugar. So what do you do in order to stop the cravings? Well, I'm going to come to that in a couple of other points as well. But the most important point is, don't have it in the house if you can do that. If you are living in a family and you are the only one who doesn't want to do it, then hide it. Don't put it in plain sight. Don't put it on the kitchen counter or in the refrigerator where you are so often. Hide it. Just hide it. Look, somebody who used to be an alcoholic doesn't have the bottles of beer or whiskey or whatever kind of alcohol in the house anywhere, because seeing is eating. Seeing is wanting. Same with cigarettes. I mean, somebody who quit smoking doesn't have that little package of cigarettes on the table, or in the older days when we had friends coming over, we had a variety of cigarettes, brands, and we had them in a nice box on the table. And ashtrays, different ashtray. I remember giving my father for his birthday a beautiful crystal ashtray. My whole family was smoking. I used to smoke. I quit about 37 years ago. Never had a craving. I quit under hypnosis. Done. Happy about it. Never missed it. So if you don't see it, it's less tempting. Because if you see it, you want it. That's what they do in restaurants. That's what they do in airplanes. They don't describe it because it usually doesn't ring a bell to you what it is. But if you see the picture, you go like, oh, yeah, that looks terrific. And anybody who has ever visited Japan is even more interested. I have not been to many Asian countries, but I have been to Japan. There they have in the window a beautiful replica of plastic or silicone, whatever it is, of the food that's on the menu. So you look at it and you go like, wow, that looks good. And you point, and that's what they make for you. Just, it's appetizing. That's what they do. Same in the restaurants, wherever you are. And some restaurants in the older days would show you what the daily specialty was. They had one plate with the daily specialty, and they would show like, and this is our daily specialty. Not every restaurant this. America is different than Europe. I come from Europe. I remember that. The same with the dessert cart. That's a French thing. They come by with a cart of all the cakes and pies and whatever you can imagine on it, and you look at it and you go like, wow. And I remember I once saying like, I have a little piece of everything. And I did. I got a huge plate with a little piece of everything. And that brings me to the next thing. The more variety you have in whatever you are eating, in a smoothie, in a salad, on your plate, different flavor, different texture. Every time you have something different in your mouth, your mind says, oh, that's new. And the appetite is reset. So you eat more. When you have just one or two or three things on your plate and you go like, wow, that looks kind of boring. Yeah, but you got to realize, what are you doing? As I always say, you put fuel in your car. I mean, every time you pump gas, and I pump normal and you may pumping special, do you say like, oh, well, this is so boring. I have now, for the past 5, 6, 7 years, I have put normal gasoline in this car. Let me put some special in here. Or let me put some diesel in here. You don't do that because you know that the engine cannot handle it. Sort of similar to you. Compare yourself to a car, really. I invite you to do that. Just simplify your food intake. Good food, nutritious, your proteins, your veggies, a lot of water, but make it simple. Don't go overboard. The less variety, the less you eat. The less ingredients, it's better. Now, how do we survive as when we came on the planet? We survived in the beginning on breast milk. What is breast milk? Well, that's the only substance, the natural only substance, not man-made, but in a way man-made because we women make it, that is fatty and sugary. And it's at room temperature. Yoo-hoo! Isn't that fantastic? And it's always available. Isn't that fantastic? You survived on that. You got that picture of life into you. That was life. You now look at comfort food in the same way. You want to have that sugary, fatty, nice, lukewarm food. Or you go a little bit more towards the savory, like macaroni and cheese. That's sort of same kind of substance. That's what we survived on the breast milk. That created a memory. Food always regresses you, always takes you back to memory. You had a grandmother who was so good in making apple pie and then vanilla ice cream with it, or whipped cream all over it. Or she baked chocolate muffins and you had a cup of hot cocoa with it. So whenever you feel a little bit off, or whenever you think of your grandma or whatever that was, that triggers again your favorite food. Now you can stop that. You can simply stop that by saying, I choose to say no to whatever it is, the pizza, the apple pie, the muffins. And I choose to be proud of myself. Choosing. Life is a choice. Life is a choice. I choose to say no to pizza, apple pie, whatever it is. Because, here's the thing. You choose to fit into your skinny jeans. You choose for a healthier body. You choose to feel wonderful in your clothes and without your clothes. I do. And so by the time that you're 95, just say to yourself, by the time that I'm 95, I'm gonna knock myself out on everything. Chocolate cakes, cheese, you name it, everything. Who cares? But right now, you choose to fit into your skinny jeans. You choose to fit. You choose to be healthy, slender, slim, sexy, masculine, whatever. So you choose to say no to those big temptations. So just don't have them in the house when you can. Just forget it. Because when you have that hunger pan, I have that feeling, you got to dissect what it is. When was the last time you took some nutrition? And I don't mean popcorn or potato chips or whatever empty fluff that fills you up, but that doesn't satiate you, that doesn't fill you up with nutrition, because there's nothing in it. It's just calories, it's carbs, it's empty misery, as I call it. So if you had your breakfast and now you're beginning to feel a little bit hungry, first check in. Are you thirsty? When was the last time you had a big glass of water? Room temperature, please. Have some water and wait 20 minutes. Or on your way home and you say God, I'm hungry. Check in again. Are you dehydrated? But also say to yourself, yeah, I know I'm hungry, but I'm going to do some shopping now and I'm going to be home in 45 minutes or an hour. And you know that you have enough flesh on the bones to survive that hour. Just take 1 or 2 glasses of water to stop the stomach. And just say to the mind, the mind can really communicate. Just say, I choose to wait for healthy, nutritious, lean food when I get home. Negotiate. Talk to yourself. You can do it. And when you're home, have a look. Are you bored with something? Then distract yourself. Go do something else. Have a glass of water. Go do something else. I don't care what. Vacuum the house. Do some ironing. Clean the windows. Whatever. Get out of that until it is time to have your meal. Get away from the empty food. Tell yourself, I choose to have nutritious food. I choose to have no pizza. It doesn't entice me. I don't need it. These are just a couple of things that perhaps you didn't know and can help you bridge the gap, the hunger gap. There is more, and I've talked about it more, and I will continue to talk about it because there is an emotional hunger based on childhood pain, trauma in your childhood. And that's what I'm talking about for a large part as well. But here now, I would like you to take on, just look at what you're doing. Observe yourself. Write it down. Change your wording. Observe what you're thinking when you have these cravings. You're not dying of hunger. Because people say oh, I'm dying of hunger. I could eat a horse and this and that and I'm going to... No, you're not. Have a glass of water and carry on. Just tell yourself, I can do this. I choose to do this. I'm going to be home or I'm going to have dinner in half an hour, 45 minutes. And I choose to wait for that really nutritious, fantastic dinner or lunch, whatever it is. So I hope this helps a little bit. And I sincerely hope you continue watching my videos because I'm here to help you get out of this situation of, compulsory eating, this binge eating, this emotional eating. Just check in with yourself. And I'm going to talk also about changing your vocabulary, how you talk with yourself, to yourself in these kind of situations, and actually in any situation, because that is programming, rewiring your mind. And you can do it. If I can do it, and I've done it, you can do it as well. So, thank you for watching. You remember that there is a disclaimer. Everything that you just heard from me is what I have learned from my fantastic mentors. I mix it all together, put my sauce over it. I'm serving you that. If you like it, click the like button. Subscribe if you have not yet done that. Pass it on to somebody who you may feel could benefit from my content. And if you don't like it, hey, you know what? That's all perfectly fine. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day.